Hello, everyone. Welcome to Carnage Candy. I am Grayson. This is Shaun, and episode 3 of Welcome to Derry is here, and we're so excited to talk about it. But first, make sure to go ahead and ring that bell and subscribe to our channel. You can watch other horror content and get caught up on the Welcome to Derry episodes that we've already reviewed. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about some clown action that we thought was going to show up and didn't.
So we immediately get what we wanted and talked about last week. We get a flashback to an old cycle of Pennywise with Francis,
which is a big surprise on who old Francis is.
Did you see this coming? Francis
Yes, a mile away.
Really? How? Yeah. Like I don't understand.
Because of how much information he knew about what was going on. As soon as they showed off the kid at the beginning, I was like, it has to be him. Because he knows the most out of everybody else. And the only way he would know that is if he's had some kind of experience with it.
For sure. But we get this kind of funhouse walkthrough, and it's pretty good. I was really hoping that the entire episode would have stayed in the flashback.
I was hoping it was going to do that as well. And what I was hoping was going to happen is it started off with a kid and then it shot a couple of years later and explained more about what happened with the people in the car.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't get that. Instead, we get a pretty creepy scene inside of the fun house that I really enjoyed. It's still fun, but I was hoping it was going to go a little bit further into the past, I guess is the best way to say it.
Well, I guess it's like a couple of years after this flashback, but we do get the reveal, and I was wrong, and this is why I remember it being scary, but the town and the police had turned and massacred the mobsters in the car. Remember last week I thought it was the police, but no, the town had come together and machine gunned.
So they all did it together.
Yeah, they mobbed them.
They say in the episode that they all went crazy and shot them.
Yeah. It would be like at the end of Streets of Fire if they gunned down Willem Dafoe in the game. You know what it is? What's that?
I'll tell you what it is. It's Roadhouse. It's the ending of Roadhouse is what happened. They circled them around with some shotguns and did some work.
Yeah. But you get Francis, this backstory with the slingshot and his young friend who turns out to be the pawn shop owner. And she's part of the Native American community up there in Derry. And it's kind of leading up to this. I keep just being like, how is this going to connect to the Turtle Smokehouse from Chapter 2?
Yeah.
And
which is, I think I do agree with you, what you said last week, how it's going to be. That's what they find. It's going to be the smokehouse thing.
At the core of it, there's some kind of but the fair, we get more clowns and this little girl who's a clown who is pretty creepy that I wish they would have.
Yeah, it was really cool. I loved how she was out of focus the first part of the episode, and then at the end it showed what the full clown costume looked like. But I was hoping for a little bit more of it as well. Mm-hmm. But they're still kind of teasing us at the moment.
Yeah, they're letting it ride. Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, they're letting it ride. We do get kind of what an expedition with Holler and what that's like. Hanlon is now a pilot, or he's always been a pilot, but he's flying them around, and we get this kind of radar, and the slingshot is his totem, so to speak, for tracking down.
Because in the past, Franklin, and I don't remember what her name was, but there's a girl that's with Franklin who shoots the entity with a slingshot. And since it's been used on the entity, now
it's like marked.
Hanlon. Yes. I keep on getting Hanlon and
Hollering. Remember,
Hollering
hollers. He hollers with his mind. Hollering.
And Hanlon uses his hands to fly.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, now we're cooking.
But since that happened, Hollering can actually see where this all went down to kind of post where the next totem is going to be.
Yeah.
So we're assuming.
Yeah, and I think in that chopper, I kind of assumed that they might have flown right over ground zero, right? They flew over like the hot spot because the entity kind of targets Hollering directly. We do get a really good dinner scene with Hollering and Hanlon and the missus later. And, Hollering is like, man, it looked right at me. but I didn't see it, but it saw me. And Halloran also sees his grandma with all the floating bodies down low.
It's a really cool scene. I'm still saying this, and I know I've kind of brought this up on all the episodes so far, but the adult section still continues to be the best part of the show for me.
Yeah.
Every single time it goes over to them, it's just so much more interesting.
Yeah. I'm shocked at how interesting the military stuff is, and Hanlon and Halloran just stealing the show every episode, and that kind of takes us. That kind of takes us to the kids. Lily, after seeing her daddy being pickled, has gone back to Jupiter Hills, and poor girl, like she's just getting. Her mom's there to pick her up. The doctor's like, "This happens again, we're gonna up her dosage." And we see that Lily has a lot of empathy from one of the head. She was kind of like a bed folder caretaker lady.
So sweet too. God, it's one of the nicest people ever in a show like this.
Yeah.
She believes her, which is wild.
Yeah,
it's
it kind of inspires her and Ronnie to try to prove that they're not crazy, because Ronnie and we also get that scene with Ronnie's dad and Bowers. Bowers kind of pulls a Hanlon here and uses a product to entrap Ronnie's dad.
It was pretty damn smart,
yeah.
Honestly. Which I didn't know if they were gonna make Bowers like his son was, because his son kind of seems just an asshole the whole time. Kind of seems idiotic in a way, but he seems pretty intelligent so far.
He's a smart guy, and I think this is like a generational racism. Like it's like,
oh yeah, for
smart guy, really manipulated, but like obviously like a piece of shit. And man, Ronnie's dad's like, damn, you got me. Yeah, but I didn't do it. Yeah, I'm in deep shit here.
Yeah, it was cool because so far all we've seen of him is the first time you see him, we have no evidence on this guy.
Yeah.
And he kind of gets bullied by the town to find evidence. And now it's like, oh no, like you're just kind of a piece of trash. Like we don't need to feel bad for you. But there is a part of you that's like, man, this character is interesting as well.
Yeah, he's not just like a wrecking ball of like hatred and just spewing slurs. Like Bowers is like, he's gonna be an issue, like an intelligent villain, no doubt. We get a little more of, is it Richie or Ricky, this big-headed kid?
The big-headed kid? Oh, the one that's in love with Margaret?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Richie.
Rich. So we kind of get
the best kid in the show so far.
Yes,
without a doubt.
So get Will and Rich and Lily and Ronnie, and these are kind of like our core four now. They've kind of banded together, and they've decided to go on their own little ghost hunting expedition. And yeah, I kind of just fell off here. I was very Last Jedi.
I really wanted to talk to you about this. I got extremely bored with this whole section, and then it makes it worse whenever they're riding their bikes out of the cemetery, because they use this really weird CGI background.
There's some kind of weird smoke. I just sitting there like, I can't imagine being VFX and being satisfied with this scene.
I know. I don't know what happened there. It's the worst of the show so far. I don't know what happened in this episode, but
it's very Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion.
Yeah,
like
it is. And the monsters that are chasing him the whole time are very cheesy looking. They're not scary. It's just really spooky feeling, not like the other episodes where you're just kind of pushed back because of how bad everything looks. By bad, I mean scary.
Yeah, and I think I like the idea of them trying to get proof, but it all seemed very much they needed something to fill out because the adults were all very fleshed. And this seemed, I don't like calling any episode excuse me, filler, because I think that's like, of course, all episodes between the first and the finale are filler, right?
100% they are. Yes,
that's
what it's there for.
Yeah,
you have to fill in the blanks from the first scene to the end.
It's like
climax.
calling the contents of a sandwich filler, and it's like, no, that's like the
That's
stuff.
some good filler.
But it did. But this very all felt very a little rushed and lazy. And I wasn't mad when I watched it, but now that I've stewed, I feel like we could have gotten a really horrifying scene with Will locked in that obelisk with Pennywise. And
Yes, we could have. The part that makes me mad is when they developed the film, which is their big thing to try to prove Ronnie's dad innocent. You get a glimpse on what they saw in there, and it's really creepy looking.
Yeah,
it looks really good, and just a shot of it peeking around the corner and then a flash would have locked me in more.
Yeah, or take away from the chase and focus on kind of Will's isolation and stuff. But yeah, I was, at the end of the episode, I was like, I don't even know if that's worth recording over, because it was just kind of like, it was more information than anything. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to record this with you because of that very small conversation that Holleran and Hanlon have on the front porch.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, yes. After dinner. And I thought that was just a really awesome moment. Hanlon realized that Holleran knew that he had a son without talking to him. And Hanlon's like, okay, I felt the twinge in my mind. So Hanlon felt the shining, a little
Which
bit.
Is wild.
Yeah, because he was being read, having his mind read by Holleran. And he said he only felt it one other time, and it was whenever he was being assaulted by the gas mask men when he was being tested. So
another one has been revealed.
Yeah, Holleran was in there. Very strange that they would send Holleran in, I guess, to gauge him, but
it's to read his mind. That's why they sent him in to see what. It's really cool how they did it, and it's neat how Holleran basically says, "I'm not messing with you.
Yeah,
I know what you do.
Yeah,
whenever you're close to death. Nah, I want you on my side."
And that's what I was gonna say. That's what's awesome. Like Holleran, and that's probably why the general was like, "You are pure bravery." Holleran probably told him, like,
"Yeah,
hey, I tried to read his mind, and he was completely locked in. Like, I want him to be my escort as we track down.
He's our key."
Yeah, he's our key. He's our key to the whole thing. But yeah, I thought that was so cool that it's like, because you're a kid and you're growing up, you're watching The Shining, and it's like, man, it would suck so bad to see dead people all the time. But Holleran's not really scared of anything.
No. Yet.
Yeah.
He does make a reference in this episode when he's talking to the general about how it wasn't supposed to see him, but it did, and you could tell that it got under his skin. And the actor sells it very well.
Yeah, because with his mind, he's a surveyor. He is seeing things, but to be like communicated back with is like, it's Pennywise is, and that I think that's why when I was a kid, or not a kid, but in my 20s and reading the book, I was like, oh man, like it versus Holleran is like crazy, right? That would be such an interesting thing.
It doesn't go that far into it in the book, right?
No, he's like
a glimpse in the book, right?
No, it just goes to show that like he knew something bad was going to happen and he saved a bunch of people, but no, none of this is happening in the book at all. So it's a very interesting dynamic, but I love the idea that the scariest thing to Holleran, or like what Holleran would not try to go up against, isn't like evil incarnate, but somebody who is of sound and concentrated mind. And I think
man
that's
with
awesome.
No fear.
Yeah, a man with no fear. And not like Daredevil, I'll jump off of a building, no fear.
No,
like actual bravery.
Yeah, which I mean, Daredevil's brave. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
But yeah, I thought that was a really awesome scene on the porch, and I don't know, I thought that was really cool and very interesting. So I think Holleran's going to steal the show, like without a doubt.
More than likely, I think every adult that's in the show right now is stealing it. It's just it's cool to see more adults act with the monster or the entity in this one and acknowledge this. than it is for them to kind of be kind of comatose during it the whole time, you know.
Yeah.
So these adults so far know something's wrong, and I think that's why it's more interesting to me in this one than it is, you know, in the movies. I don't really care, but in this series, it's something completely different that I'm not used to.
Yeah, and I think that I'm happy that like the townsfolk, because everybody that is encountering it is not a Derry resident. The Derry residents are still doing the
Yes, for sure they are.
The kind of like brain turned off,
turning a blind eye.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm still getting that, but it's very interesting to see, and it's still a scary show, right? This episode obviously was far weaker than the others.
It is,
but
and it's okay. It's episode 3. There's going to be some hiccups in it. You don't always get a perfect show, and that's all right.
yeah,
But this one, compared to the last 2, is kind of a damn.
Yeah.
You can't get them all.
Yeah, yeah, and I think there was opportunity, especially with kids being in a cemetery. But
I know, and using the circle, there's so much more that you could have done with this, and to just make it the ground is falling and ghosts chasing them. It's just like you could have done zombies. You could have done like anything. A werewolf chasing them through there.
Yeah.
Anything is more creative than what they did.
Than the floating Harry Potter ghosts coming out. I'm like, oh man,
it's rough.
Yeah, but regardless, do you have anything else? I think that's it for me. It's a short one.
I think I'm just really excited to see where Halloran goes next, and I did want to ask you this before we go. So the fact that Hanlon could feel Halloran, does that mean that does he have the Shining as well, or is
I don't really know the rules. There's a lot of people that also say that like Carrie had the Shining. There's a lot of fan theories. I think I've seen some stuff and even thought myself that Tom Cullen in The Stand has the Shining because he sensed where Stu was going to be. And
that
Nick
makes sense.
Nick talked to him in The Shining or in The Stand as well to help cure Stu at the end. And
I never thought about that. Yeah. And
so I've like I said, I've not read any Dark Towers, but I'm sure there's like references to The Shining a lot. But me personally, I just liked because it's fun for me as a fan to just consider The Shining, and I recommend this to any Stephen King fans. Anytime any character has a gut feeling in any Stephen King book, it's really fun to just assume that they have a little bit of The Shining, right?
Yeah, that is a cool thing to think about.
And like it's just like a thing I do for myself, right? Even if it has no other references, it's just like even in Rose Madder, it's like that book's just about an abused wife who runs away from her husband, but she'll get these gut feelings and fears, and she does there's some magic in that book too, and I'm like, maybe she has the Shining. So I am thinking in my mind, just as a fan, yeah, Hanlon's got a little bit of it. You can't be the perfectly brave combatant to Pennywise and not have a little something special. But
no, you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, Pennywise is like the nega Shining, right? That's what I like to think. He's like the complete opposite.
You know what the Giga Shining is?
What's that?
The dome from Under the Dome.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, for sure. And there are thoughts that Pennywise is of the same kind of otherworldly responsibility for what the dome comes from. No other spoilers there.
Of course there is.
Yeah.
Of course there is.
But I mean, I don't know. You write 40 books and it's like
you might as well.
Yeah.
You gotta feed the fans some candy, you know. Give them a little candy trail to lead them back. It's fine.
Yeah,
it
it's
happens.
Anything to warrant a reread or a second or third paperback purchase. You know, trying to get pockets go deep. But excited for Welcome to Derry episode 4 for sure. I think this is probably the most excited I've been to watch a new show on a weekly basis in a while.
I would say I get very excited whenever Sundays come around because I'm just interested to see how they're going to wrap this all in.
Yeah. It should be a fun development. So thanks for watching. Make sure and leave a comment on what you thought below, and go check out episode 2 review right here on Welcome to Derry. It's over Greyson's face.
Always is. I get Mike Wazowski'd every time.
Okay, well we'll put it on my face this time.
No, it's tradition now. You got to lead the candy trail. You got to lead the trail.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.